Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back in with another Market Watch investments video for you guys tonight. So OTS Pack 13 just dropped, or I don't really know when this came out, but today was the first day I noticed that this has actually been released. Not all of the cards have photos here on TCG Player. The majority of them do, though. And this is just a quick synopsis of the supers and the ultimate rares. So it's pretty cool. They got Book of Moon, Abyss Dweller. This is going to be really big. This is probably like the most exciting card out of this set. Traptrix Rafflesia. And then we got, a plethora of some super rares here. It's cool they got Where Art Thou as a super rare, and Bahamut Shark as a super rare. And that's really the only cards that I would think that are really exciting out of the set. More specifically, the Bahamut Shark. That's really cool. So this, I don't know how long this has been out, but I just realized this, so I thought it was pretty cool. So we have OTS 13 now. Moving on here, we have number 37, Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark. What a fancy name. Really cool card. Apparently, it's a solo print out of Premium Gold, Infinite Gold. Now, normally, I think that this type of gold is really just awful. I don't like it at all. But this card in particular, being that it is a gold secret, it does look very, very nice. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but this is the only print that we have of this card. I think it's pretty good. You can pause the video and read the effect here. It's not too terribly impactful, but it's good enough to be relevant. Also, it's Sea Serpent, rank 4, water, 26 speeder. Pretty cool. And it's kind of one of those obscure water cards that I don't think really people talk about too much. And it's had a small price increase in value. We can see here this. I was buying these cards not too long ago for about 2 bones, and now like the cheapest one here is about 320 plus. So only 2 pages on the market too. So just wanted to highlight this card really quick. One of those obscure water cards. Totally Awesome is going to be next. Of course, we have the 2017 Megatins, and I'm really surprised it still to this day has not been reprinted since the Megatins. It's pretty incredible. It still only has 2 prints with the popularity behind this card. Let's go ahead and take a look at the original Secret Rare versions from Invasion Vengeance. These are always holding really good value. This is Water's go-to XYZ monster here. Unlimiteds are going to be about 18. First editions are going to be about 18 as well. So shocker there. I mean, good luck. No one's going to buy this when they can buy a first edition for the same price. Pretty incredible. 4 pages available for that. Let's go ahead. So if the original prints are 18, let's go ahead and see what the price differentiation is between the 2017 Megatins. Should be relatively the same, but let's go ahead and check it out really quick. So, did Megapacks have unlimited runs? I didn't know Megatins had unlimited runs. I guess maybe they did. So the same price. So obviously go for OG print. Yeah, go OG print because they're the same price. Alright, next is going to be Magical Musketeers. So, I've talked about this deck before. This is one of my go-to decors to showcase. This deck is extremely cheap. I think it's highly underrated. It's extremely fun to pilot. I personally have this max rarity. It's really fun. It's not hard to do max rarity at all because there's barely any reprints of this card. Battles of Legends, Heroes Revenge, Dawned, they're rank 2. Well, actually, it's a rank 1. XYZ monster. And I'm just going to click on this really quick because this is the card that has just took this deck to a whole nother level. You can pause the video, read the effect. This is a really good card. Unfortunately, it's a solo print as an ultra rare, which is kind of like blah. But eventually, I think it's going to get reprinted into cooler rarity. Right now, this is all we have. It's insanely cheap. It's about like a bone plus if you factor in shipping. Plenty to go around on the market. And this card is just blowout. Artwork is awesome. Effects, got like all these crazy cool effects. And it just brings Musketeers better than they already were. It's not a super like meta-defining deck. It's really cheap and it's really cool. And it's again like it's got a pretty diverse. It's a really unique play style. You can play your Magic and Traps from your hand, which is a really unique mechanic to this decor. I don't know much of any besides that one Blackwing card that I think Delta Crow or whatever. If you meet the stipulation, you can play the trap card from the hand. But other than that, this is really the only deck that does that, which I think is a really luxurious and great mechanic. There is the reprints here, which have like literally plummeted to like the dirt. They're like hardly anything now. And the original secrets, are really not that expensive right now. Starfire and Caspar are really the only ones that are really holding much value. Everything else just dirt cheap. Really not that many cards. Only 17 different versions of this card. So a lot of extra stuff that you can stuff in this deck to make it your own. So really fun deck. I would definitely check it out. The creator is going to be next. So this is going to be the ultimate rare prints. I'll review the other versions shortly here, but this is the highest rarity as the ultimate rare, dawning out of Rise of Destiny. This was a really cool set because this was actually the last core set where Yami Yugi was on the outside artwork of the booster packs as like the front of the booster packs for the artwork, which is really, really cool. It's kind of like the closing of a segment of a really special time in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Rise of Destiny was around the time where I stopped playing. I came into the game in 2002, and I played for several years, and then whenever the year was that Rise of Destiny came around, that was kind of like when I kind of transitioned out, and then I didn't come back until 2011 after high school. But first edition here is going to be about 32 bones, and there's about 3 here, and then it goes straight to 60, and then it bottoms out at 250. So these 31s or 32s seem, really good. I mean, it's kind of expensive for what it is now. I mean, they definitely weren't this expensive before, but still, if you consider the price points and how quickly this card is going up and the small, very, very small quantity on the market, I would definitely see these going by really quick because this is just a major collector's card. Artwork is just beautiful. I personally really, really like the artwork. The aesthetic behind the Ultimate foiling is amazing. And again, Rise of Destiny is just ancient as hell. Gen 1, nostalgic, dual monsters era Yu-Gi-Oh! Really, really great. I am going to go ahead and take a look at the other versions because there's actually a special edition secret rare promo, which is really cool, really old school secret rare promo, which looks fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. And here it is right here. So we're just going to go ahead and click on that. And then I think the other version is like a super and ultra or something, but this is still relatively affordable, and this looks amazing. I really like secret rare a lot. This is incredibly cheap right now still. I think it's safe to say, I mean, the ultimate rares are pretty much getting chewed up on the market, and they're going to be non-existent pretty soon. And then I think people are going to go over to the ultimate rare, not necessarily for collectability, but this is still a really cool card. I still think that this has potential to have some play depending on how creative you get with your builds. And again, it's just amazing rarity, amazing artwork. It's really old. It's like barely 2 bones if you factor in shipping. There's not really a lot of stacks here. There's a 2 stack here, and then there's only 3 pages, but this would definitely be the healthy alternative to go with. And then of course the other versions are really not too much to discuss, but I just want to review them really quick. So you got original ultra, and then you got some commons, and there's a dark rev 3 ultra, but secret and ultimate rare are going to be where the money is. The dark creator is going to be next, so kind of like the dark twin to the creator. You can see very similar artwork. Again, this is the highest rarity as a secret rare, dawning from Phantom Darkness. And I kind of just wanted to review this because I wanted to showcase the creator. So simple enough, wanted to show the dark creator as well. This is actually a card that I've actually tried teching in a Dark World. It was kind of too slow. It didn't really work out, but there's a lot of great things that this card, again, it's a level 8. Both of these are level 8s. I'm a really big fan of rank 8 XYZs. And you can do a lot of cool stuff with level 8s. And rank 8s are some of the best XYZs in my opinion. I really like rank 8s a lot. So Unlimited, just a couple dollars, not really a big price point. But what's interesting about this card is when you get to the first edition, this card gets crazy expensive. And this is a prime example of why I almost always put such emphasis on first editions. The highest Unlimited is about 20 bones. The first edition goes all the way up to a whopping 161 bones. And there's a 3 stack that doppels it out at the bottom for 180 bones. So this card is just, it's not worth this price point. It's not there yet for collectability. The only reason why it's like that is because there's no first editions on the market. Now granted, these are near mint, which is pretty impressive to find, seeing how this card is just so ancient as well. But These are literally just at this price point just because people are not listing them. People don't know how much like this card is inflated right now, but you know, it goes without saying. Just like remember though, like this is a perfect example of you have to go first edition every time. You know, this is just insane. This is the market value price differentiation right here. So really cool card. There's really not much else to talk about as far as the other versions. I think there was like a super rare promo from a special edition. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the Raging Battle super rare promos, and then just a common. So ideally the secret rare is going to be your best, but I mean the secret rare first edition prints are already 100 plus, so may have missed the train on that, but eventually, people list it. It may come back around to a more reasonable price point. Next is going to be Dark Arm Dragon. We have the Ultimate Rares from Turbo Pack Booster 6, which are going for some really ridiculous numbers. It actually looks really, really nice. I do appreciate this card a lot. I thought the artwork was going to come out too dark. Some Ultimate Rares come out too dark and just really start to take away from the artwork, and I don't like that. But they did a pretty good job on this one. I want to go ahead and take a look at the original Secret Rare OG prints dotting out of Phantom Darkness. These are the original Secret Rare prints. There was another Secret Rare reprint, which I'm going to show you guys shortly, which should still be relatively affordable and even looks better aesthetically than this because of the updated Secret Rare foiling. But Unlimiteds are going to be about 30-ish, 536. There's only one page of this, and then wow, 255 bones for first edition. Only 2 single copies on here. This is insane. 503 bones. This is that's very ambitious, Generals Gaming. But there's only two listings of the first edition, so I mean, I guess technically you can list it for whatever you want. Like, I mean, this guy clearly did. But again, remember when you kind of have a corner on the market and you are listing cards that have very low quantities on the market, just remember there always has to be a buyer. So this guy can list this for 500 bones, you know, all he wants. But what matters is if he sells it. If there's a buyer that's willing to pay 500 bones for a first edition dad, probably not. I'm going to have to say no. Most definitely not. I don't even think that there is a player that wants to pay 255, which is literally like, you know, half price of this. So these literally, again, are just like this because there's just not a lot on the market. But, you know, maybe people watch this video and they'll start listing their first edition Dark Arm Dragons, and maybe we'll see a little bit of a price decrease. Really great card, but these are just like, honestly, like, I don't mean to be like, you know, negative or anything crazy like that, but there's literally another Secret Rare reprint that looks better in my personal opinion, which is going to be the Secret Rare darting from Legendary Collection Kaiba, which has the updated foiling for the level stars and the dark attribute symbol, and this card is literally like 2 bones. I've been talking about this card forever. Like, this literally is better in my opinion. Obviously, the Phantom Darkness versions are a lot more older, a lot more collectible, and more valuable. But for the price, like, you can't beat it. Like, you drop a couple bones and you get, you know, an updated Secret Rare foiling of Dark Arm Dragon, which looks better in my opinion. I personally have several of these myself, and yeah, it's about 2-ish, then goes to about 4 or 5 plus pages. Not really a lot of fat stacks on the first page here, but just an incredible reprint. Like, this is a reprint done right. Konami really took the whole cake with this reprint. It was a well-needed reprint, and it was an amazing reprint. There's a Dual Saga version, and really that would be the only other ones, but the actual Gold Series 2009 is really great. 2009-2008 did Gold Series right. They made really nice gold cards. This is actually seeing quite a good price increase as well. This card used to be like $1, a half dollar for like the longest time, and you know, it's actually going up to about 4 plus. So that's actually pretty impressive. Only 2 pages left of that, but yeah, I would definitely say the Legendary Collections Kaiba reprints, Secret Rares, would be the best, healthy alternative to this. Of course, there's the Ultimate Rares too, which is really great, but they're just ungodly expensive too. This is what you guys want to go after, because eventually, when the market dries up on these, when players start to get smart and they're like, hey, I can get a beautiful Secret Rare Dark Arm Dragon for 2 bones, then they're just going to start tuning it up on the market. Next is going to be Tragodia. This is another Ultimate that just looks extremely beautiful. I was really happy with how the foiling came out on this. The red and the black and the dark gray just looks so beautiful. I really regret this. This used to be about like $50-$30 for the Ultimate Rare, and it got chewed up. A lot of people started buying it up, and then it went up to like 100 plus, which is probably where it's still at. There's a couple foreigns. There's European, German, Spanish. They're about almost 90 bones, and then it's 94. So yeah, it's just hovering right under about 100 bones. Only 2 pages on here, so that sounds about right. Really great card. You can pause the video and read this effect. This is a really old card. If you guys, if you're new to the game, probably don't know what this card does, or if you're an old player, maybe you forgot. This literally has 3 different effects. This is crazy. This is an awesome card. It has amazing artwork, and I really love Dark World a lot. And sometimes not really with sometimes not, because Dark World really has a lot of hand control cards, so it doesn't really flow that well with it. But all around, just amazing card. Another great rarity is the Shonen Jump Ultra Rares. I'm a big fan of Shonen Jump Ultra Rares, Dual Saga Ultra Rares, Dual Terminal Ultra Rares, and Generation 1 OG Ultimate Rares First Editions. And this is gone slightly up minorly in price. I mean, this was used to be like half a bone, 2 bones, and now it's like sitting at about 4 plus. And there's really not any stacks here, only 2 pages. So I mean, rightfully so. I think this is a highly underrated hand trap, and it's got great artwork. It's got some pretty good rarities. Everything else is mostly just common and stuff. So I'm just going to move on to the next card, which is going to be Battle Fader, which has some amazing rarities. Some of my favorite rarities. Has Secret Rare, has Dual Terminal, has Ultimate Rare. That's really going to be the only ones that I would really talk about. The other are just mostly common. There's a dual saga, but it's definitely not. When you have a Dual Terminal, Secret, and Ultimate Rare, it's just going to... I love Dual Saga, but it's just going to always knock Dual Saga out of the park when you have these higher rarities. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Ultimate Rare. This is probably going for some pretty outrageous numbers for the first editions. Probably not a lot on the market too, again, because Absolute Power Force is an extremely old set. And I'm really surprised. It's only about 42, and then it goes to 50 bones, only 2 single copies, both near mint first edition. So pretty nice pricing on that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Secret Rares, which I believe came out of the Legendary Collection set. I'm a really big fan of the majority of the Legendary Collection set. My personal favorites are Legendary Collection 3 and Legendary Collection 4. Those sets ran parallel, printed a lot of the same cards and the same rarities, which was pretty cool because it kind of double stacked us for getting some old school cards, some really killer rarities. So this is a Legendary Collection 5Ds, which was another really great Legendary Collection set. Secret Rares are sitting at about 3 plus bones if you want it before you factor in shipping, which is a little bit price increase from what I remember. And lastly, let's go ahead and look at the DT Commons, which still probably, honestly, with the price point of the Ultimate Rare and I still think, so 40 bones, honestly, is really good. 40, 43, I mean, it's a lot of money to drop on a single piece of cardboard, but for what it is, for being near mint, being first edition, and being Ultimate Rare, I think that's a pretty solid investment. But if you guys want to conserve some funds, I definitely would not overlook the dual terminal ones, and I would actually personally even prefer the dual terminal 6 commons over the secrets. I mean, the secrets look good. I personally think I have both, honestly, but I definitely have a lot more DT6s than the secrets. Here's a 13 stack for about 66, and you factor in shipping. There's a 21 stack, 29 stack. Really surprised that there's a lot of stacks here, and 3 pages left. So there's a really good quantity of this. I really don't think that this is going to last. You would hardly see any dual terminal cards have these crazy fat stacks for popular cards. And right now, this isn't a really popular card. This is definitely kind of a watered down hand trap. It's definitely not as impactful as some of the newer hand trap cards, but still really good on its own merit alone. Next is going to be DD Crow, another old school hand trap card that comes in and out. This is more of a prevalent hand trap that has a good fluctuation of when it wants to be good. There's an amazing Ultimate Rare. There's a Dual Terminal 5. And there's a couple super rares. There's 2 super rares. These were kind of like Legendary Collections 3 and 4. They ran parallel too. They reprinted a lot of the same cards, the same rarities. Raw Yellow Mega Pack and Legendary Collection 2. These are both really great prints. The prices are relatively around the same. I'm pretty sure that Legendary Collection 2 is like the set that came before Raw Yellow Mega Pack, so this is the older one, if I'm not mistaken. So I definitely go for this one first. But again, they're the exact same card. They look the exact same. They came out roughly around the same time. And let's go ahead and just out of curiosity, these are going to be ungodly expensive, but let's go ahead and see what Ultimate First Edition Crows price points are looking at. I'd say that even the Unlimited's got to be really high up there. Yeah, Unlimiteds alone are 138. First edition is 200 bones. There is 2 here. And then it looks like there's some other ones with some pictures, but yeah, this goes quickly into 200 plus after that. So pretty incredible value in this. This is a beautiful ultimate rare. It's like one of those old school ultimate rares from a really old pack that is just really great to have because there's so much amazing history behind this card. It has really cool artwork. Mostly I like the Dimensional Fisher in the background. And again, this is just one of those cards that it goes in and out of the meta. Like a lot of hand traps recycle through the meta in the game states, but this is one of those ones that's a little bit more consistent. The Dual Terminal 5 common DT has had just a crazy fluctuation in value over the years. I've been watching this card relatively thoroughly, and I've seen this card go like all the way up to like $20. 20 bones and like 15 bones and 10. Now it's sitting at about 7. And it jumps up to about 10. And there's 5 plus pages. So really popular dual terminal card for sure. I mean, dual terminal cards are always kind of fluctuating, but this card in particular, I see this price point like all over the place. So honestly, personally, my favorite, I really like my hand traps and super rares. I kind of might drop a little White Mexican theory on you guys here. So I don't like playing with my high rarity stuff. I collect high rarity stuff. I love high rarity stuff. I'm really big and present in the collector's market and everything. There's nothing wrong with decking out the deck, making it complete, like first edition ultimates and ghosts and all that crazy stuff. First edition OG secrets. I think that's great. I would not play with it though. I'm one of those players that I have nice stuff, max rarity, but I don't play with it. It's just for like to grow investment value, to trade, to sell, or just to have and to like look out and pull out every once in a while and be like, yeah, I have this. This is like first edition OG prints, max rarity, really, really great, really fun. It feels good to have max rarity stuff, but I do not play max rarity stuff. So when it comes to hand traps, whatever is the flavor of the year for hand traps, I really like to run super rare versions of the hand traps because you can mix them in and out of your decks, and they still look nice because they're still super rare holofoils, and but if you're playing with them, they're gonna get lightly played, and it's not really a big deal because again, they're just super rares, and they still look good. So that's kind of my theory. And it's not just for hand traps. It's just I give that example like more specifically because all the hand traps pretty much come super rare. They have like these really nice rarities, and they have like pretty much all have super rare prints too. So that's what I would do. I would say these 2 super rares right here would be the ideal choice. There's a couple of ultra rare prints, but I bag on ultra rare all the time. I'm just not a big fan of ultra rare besides those few sets that I mentioned before. But then the DT is nice too, but it's just too expensive for where it's at right now. Next is going to be Dark Grepher. This card is going for some crazy dumb numbers right now too. The OG Secret Rare there's like hardly any on the market. Really cool artwork, really great rarity, and Phantom Darkness is just like an infamous set for like some blowout dark monster cards and dark support. The Unlimiteds are about 54 starting, and there's literally a single copy of first edition here for 116 bones. Actually, I just realized that there is 2 pages, so there's probably more. Yep, and then it just goes to 121, 130 plus, 132, 150 and just kind of stacks and stacks and stacks. So pretty incredible. This card is amazing. I love this card. Again, great rarity, great artwork, great set, great history. But there's a couple other versions here that, well, really only one other version, which would be the, well, maybe like the super rares. What was it? Oh, it's a special edition. Okay, so this was just special edition, which actually looks like it's going for some pretty good value for being just a special edition promo. These are about $3. So for a special edition promo, yeah, it's some pretty good value there for what it is. Only 2 pages left of that. But ideally, because the secret rare first editions are so expensive, I would definitely check out the DT6s, DT6 commons. This looks really great. I need to check. I need to check my inventory. I don't know if I invested in this or not. I'm really big into dual terminal stuff. I love dual terminal stuff so much. Dual terminal went bye-bye. It's gone. Konami discontinued. They are no longer manufacturing this set. And on that its own merit alone, that this is just, Konami has not put out any kind of communication of reproducing this rarity. It makes these all collector's cards. It really does. And more specifically, like the playable stuff like this and like the meta defining kind of grounding stuff, it's crazy. I'm a really avid fan of DT stuff, and this is like a bone. This is like a bone before you factor in shipping, and there's, you know, a 6 stack here, so that would probably be like the ideal one. Here's a 4 stack here, 3 stack. Here's a stack of 20 right here for 175 before factoring in shipping. So I would really get on this. This is one of those cards that it just blends really well. There's so many amazing dark eccentric decks out there, and this is just one of those cards that is just completely blowout. As far as everything else, that would definitely be the ideal. I think it's the biggest bang for your buck because it's an amazing rarity. It's very aesthetically pleasing, and it's still relatively cheap. And I don't think it's going to last, so I'd really pick up on the DT6s. Really wouldn't be concerned about the other prints. Moving on here, we can't mention that card without Armageddon Knight. This is like its twin brother. Again, dark eccentric support has always been in huge favor of the player base, as well as light eccentric. There's a lot of light eccentric stuff out there. I was really surprised that there isn't more higher rarities of this card. There's so much history behind this card, and this card just, again, it's very splashable. You don't even have to be playing a pure dark deck to run this card. This is just a Foolish Burial on legs. It's a level 4, it's a warrior, it's a dark, and there's just a lot of different combos that you can go. It's such an engine starter card. It's really great. The OG prints are actually super rares, again, out of the infamous, once again, Phantom Darkness. Just an amazing set, so much great history, so many powerhouse cards that came out of this set. It's incredible. I really wish I was in the game when this set came out because I feel like everyone just was going crazy about this set. There is no first editions on the first page, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can dig some up. Moving on to the second page. First editions is going to be about a little under 5 bones. It's just a 1 stack, so that sounds about right. It's kind of sad to say that this really is just a super rare as the highest rarity of this, but it all just trickles down to be about around 5 bones, and then there's really just not a lot of stacks here for the first edition. So I was really surprised by that. I definitely think that this card is worthy of a secret rare reprint. There's only a few reprints here just in general, and this card is really old again. So that's really it. I mean, there was 2 different super rares. Obviously, the best one is going to be the OG super rare, and then, well, 3 super rares actually. I'm sorry. So it's kind of crazy how like they reprinted this in the same rarity twice, but they didn't want to give it a rarity bump to like. This definitely needs to be a secret rare. So I would definitely forecast a secret rare in the future for Armageddon Knight. Next is going to be Shared Pain. This is strictly for collector's value. There's just something about this card. Its artwork is really obscure, and it really kind of goes back to like that Gen 1 Yu-Gi-Oh artwork with like that really just old school style artwork. It's really great. Personally, I think the best versions would be the original OG Commons from Metal Raiders First Editions exclusively and the Dual Terminal 1. Really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and dip into Dual Terminal 1 and preview that one because this one, I'll be honest, it's a little bit easier to get. And I've invested a lot more heavier in the Dual Terminal 1 because, you know, there's been a lot more available on the market as opposed to the original OG prints. Now, this is cool because it is Dual Terminal 1, the very first Dual Terminal set, just right after the preview set. So I think that's really cool. It's really old, brings a lot of value to just how old it is. And there's actually a lot on the market here. Double Infinity has a 5-stack here for 30 cents, and then there's a whopping 50 stack here for just under $1 before you factor in shipping before nonstop gaming. So these would definitely be the ideal choices. I think this is just a really great card just for the history, the artwork. It's not really a card that is really going to be, playable. Maybe not yet. I mean, again, the meta is always changing. The game is always going in and out and just in the transition of time. So maybe there'll come a time where you can kind of get a double plus from this card. As of right now, it's just strictly going to be for collector's value. Going into the original print, so now the benefit of this one more specifically, besides it being significantly older than the Dual Terminal 1 versions, and also being Metal Raiders, so we're talking about Generation 1 Set 2, Booster Pack Core Set 2 here, so extremely old, like deep in the bones Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! Right here. It has the magic stamps. I believe, Magic Ruler, which I want to say I believe was the third set. Vision of Blue Eyes, Metal Raiders, and then, Magic Ruler. If I'm not mistaken, if I have my history right, Magic Ruler was the third set ever. So this was the second set. That's why, donning the Magic print stamp here, which is before the game completely changed the card name, which is really great. History value, time value, just age value, and it makes it a lot more collectible having this Magic stamp. My personal opinion, again, you have to go specifically for first editions only because this, is just for artwork and for collectability, in my personal opinion. And there's really we're not finding any first editions in the first couple pages. There is a lot of pages. Unfortunately, the majority of them are unlimited, which are just going to be rendered useless because, again, this is going to be for collectability. You always have to go first edition. It's about half bones or 3-stack here, and then there's a 1-stack here for about half bones. So there's really just not a lot of fat stacks. You guys can kind of dip through that. There's 8+ pages here to go through, but there's just something about this card. I mean, for those reasons I mentioned before, I mean, everyone can make their own decision, but I really think that there's something going on behind Share the Pain. Witch's Strike is going to be the final card in this showcasing. I've always loved this card, even before, like when we were getting like previews of Savage Strike, and everyone was kind of talking about this card, hyping about this card. Had a pretty fat price tag when Savage Strike dropped. It was relatively expensive. It's fluctuated relatively well throughout the market. It's gone up and down, and right now it's sitting at about 8 bones. Here's a 5-stack here from Cute Kitty Cards, so it's going to be the ideal choice. I would definitely buy this card in stacks if you are going to invest in this. I don't remember exactly how many copies. I know I have at least 3 playsets of this card. I got them, I think it was for 10. I think it was around 10. I invested in several copies of these near mint first edition for about 10 bones a piece. And I want to say I think I got 10 because I think the final bill was about 100 bones for the investment that I did on this. But this is still to the day a solo print secret rare. So it's a solo print and it's a high rarity. Now, granted, Savage Strike is not that old of a set. It came out, I think it was last year. I think it was 2019 when Savage Strike came out. Really cool set. So this is solo print. It's a high rarity. It has amazing artwork. Like this artwork is just like unparalleled. I really love this artwork a lot. And it's a really underrated card. It's slow. I mean, it's not a counter trap, and you do have to set it and wait a turn because it is a trap. But it's just for like all those reasons I mentioned before. It's a solo print. It's a secret rare. It has amazing artwork, and its effect is really, really, really good. People always have the argument about it's situational. It's not good because it's too situational. But if you look at the payout of you actually pulling off this card, you literally win. You activate this card, and if it goes through, you win the duel. Like, how can you not win the duel at that point? Especially when your resources are going to be stacked up relatively well and high and mighty against your opponent. I have social media. The link is going to be below. I would love to hear from each and every one of you guys. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been a part of my life for almost 2 decades. I love this game so much. This game has so many amazing things to offer to all the players that come and seek a good time in the card game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope you guys are having a fantastic day and making some amazing Yu-Gi-Oh! Investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.